Hi guys, welcome to my Flosstube. My name is Emily and it is past time. It is 10 to 11 on Thursday the 19th of January 2023. So this is my second Flosstube of the year. So Thursday, doing well, off work, quiet house, I'm the only person in. It is fabulous. Oh, it's great. Anyway, yeah, my tagline might be a bit clickbaity for some of us. I put my HAEDs in the washing machine this week, comma, ... and everything was fine. I'll show you them in a second. So I finished the Snow Wizard. I finished it. It is here. Oh my god, I'm so happy. Oh, I haven't worked out my stitches. I grabbed it all downstairs to bring it all down to show you, and I haven't worked out how many stitches I've done this week because I am still, this for me, you know, a diary for me lasts about a week generally, maybe not even a whole week, usually into a year. My diary is kaput. So I'm still going strong, except now of course I don't have a writing tool. I'm all ready. Hello, welcome. I'm just leaving this way a second. Right, let's get a pen. Ugh, pen. Right, pink. Of course. Right, let's see what I actually did this week. I finished Snow Wizard this week. I can't tell you, I'm so pleased. Right. Let me work out my stitches. I did. So I worked on Snow Wizard basically. A little bit here and there at the beginning of the week. 184, 221, 535, and I won on Saturday. I was at 96.78%, and I was at work on Sunday, and we were really quiet on Sunday. Saturday was crazy busy. Sunday was like Dead Man's Gulch. So I did knock off a tiny really bit early on Sunday. I went to 3:15 instead of 4 o'clock, but honestly, there was no point me being there. There was nothing happening. We were done. They were like mopping the floors, there was nobody in, so I was like, we're done, let's go. So I got home and I thought, well, I slept first because I always sleep when I go home because I was like, I'm so tired. And then I got with the programme and I thought, I am so close. I'm at nearly 97%. I can get this finished. So I finished it on Sunday. Look, I've got finished. I have a finish, a bona fide HAED finish. And I stitched 1,779 stitches to finish it. So Snow Wizard. So in the week I put 2,719 stitches and I finished it. And I'm so happy, and I will show it you in a moment. I'm just working out my numbers and then I didn't work on my long dog at all, partly because I got absolutely caught up. I've basically only done full coverage this week, which, you know, is fine. From Thursday. Right, so on Thursday I also started my Bothy Threads kit, which I'll show you in a minute as well. So I worked on Treasure Hunt Bookshelf as well on Saturday and on Monday and on Tuesday and a little bit yesterday. So over the week I've done 1,625 stitches on my Treasure Hunt Bookshelf, and I'm now at 8.4%. So I've still got 0.6% to go to get my goal for the month, which of course is I've now got 12 days to stitch 4,000 stitches. We'll do it, it's fine. And then I also picked up, because I finished the Snow Wizard, I picked up the key, which was sitting at exactly 40%. Now I'm afraid I've only done a very boring bit on the key, but I put it in the week. I stitched on it on Monday, I stitched on it on Tuesday, and I stitched on it yesterday for a total of 2,000 470 stitches, and it's now sitting at 41.4. So let me just do my pattern keeper stitches for the week. 2719, 6814. So I've done about 7,000 stitches this week, because my Bothy Threads kit is not in pattern keeper, obviously. It is a paper chart, it comes as a kit. So now I've got my numbers. Sorry, I should have done that before I started recording, but I'm a bit crap. Hi, I'm a bit crap. Now, let me tell you about washing. So I finished my treasure hunt bookshelf, and I showed a picture on Instagram. Here is a picture of it finished. And I thought, if I don't do it and get it washed, it's just going to sit in my pile of finished box until the end of time, and I need to get this done. So on Monday, when I was off work, I think it was Monday. Yes, it was Monday. I did it straight away. Finished it on the Sunday, and I washed it on the Monday. And it was an awful day. We had about an inch of snow, but the road was like solid ice, like properly solid ice. And the village that my kids are in, my parents live in, that my kids are at school in, not my kids are in, my kids live here with me, obviously. With the village that the two schools that my children are in, and that they didn't grit it, and it was unbelievably dangerous. So I took my little tiny car, which has got the newest tyres on it, and I kind of, and if you put any power on, this is the UK, I know there's snowstorms up in America that are like bananas, and Eastern European, and that they're used to this. We're not. We get like 3 days of it a year, and it just perplexes us. Anyway, so like if you put any power on, the wheels actually spun, and if you put the brakes on, the back end slowed. So we don't have cars built for snow. We don't have snow tyres unless you live up in Brimar and go skiing. You know, we don't get winter tyres put on our cars. We just have tyres. You know, you go and go, I'll have tyres. Not, I want winter tyres. You know, it doesn't happen. So yeah, it was a bit hairy getting around, but we've still got snow now. It's still quite festive. If I've got a couple of pictures, I mean it's nothing. I mean, you'll look at that and go, that's stupid. Honestly, this much snow grinds our country to an absolute halt. You wouldn't believe it. There is less than an inch outside. It's still frozen solid, but the roads are now at least clear because they got with the programme and they started gritting them, which is really good. Anyway, got home from that and I thought, right, I'm going to wash these things. So I can I've already done it. I'll put up a picture of what the snow wizard looked like finished, and I was thrilled to bits with it. This is 2 strands on 14 count Ada. Okay, so you can see, I'm going to see if I can do a zoom in. It might be a little bit blurry on the darker bits up at the top of the piece where you can see the fabric behind, because I want to show you what it looks like now, because I can't believe it. Right, I'm so happy. Right, so it looks a bit like this, and you can see that there's gaps, and that's 2 strands. And I read so many comments on Facebook, either on the full coverages or Cross Stitch Friends in the UK. People go, oh, the coverage, do I need to do 2 strands on 28 count to get coverage? I've done 2 strands on 14 count, and my coverage, you've got to see it. Anyway, so I'm going to stop this here, and I took a couple of clippy videos right up to the point that it went in the washing machine, because after that I can show it you here. So I'm going to put them in here for you, and I'll explain what happened. I'll be back in a sec. So I finished my snow wizard yesterday. There he is. So today is wash day. I'm going to wash snow wizard. I'm going to wash this one, which is called Mini Dragon Guardian, I think, which I finished a while ago. I've also found this, which I got from Etsy, which is on 16 count easy grid. I'm going to wash this, and my first ever little tiny HAED finish, I'm going to wash Fragile, which is a Story Keep custom mill Story Keep. So today is wash day. Let's see how we go. And I've dunked it. This is just
Nice warm water just to get them going. That one's in. Let's put Fragile in. Mostly, my work's mostly just covered in, as you can see, coffee stains, water-soluble pen, which should disappear in front of our eyes, and this is all pure DMC, so, and it's gone, just like that, the turquoise has gone. Right, let's do this bit of turquoise here. This is the pen. And that's how quickly the turquoise fabric pen washes out. The coffee stains might be a bit harder, but coffee stains are all above ground. They're all below the stitching. I have to go and get my one that needs fixing. Oh my god, the clean clear water is already disgusting. Right, I'm going to give them a minute and I'm going to get the one that I need to scrub, like do a spot scrub on. I'm going to go and get that. So you can see what I've done on this one. I've got some shampoo and I'm just using the same shampoo that I use on my hair, very, very mild. And with a very old toothbrush, I am just working it in to the coffee stain part on this gridded fabric, so we will see what happens to it all. And if the coffee doesn't come out, oh, it actually looks like it will. Hopefully the coffee will come out and I won't need to frog the stitches, but that really put pay to my working on this. Right, I'm going to give that. Oh, water's getting really grimy in there. You see how grimy that water is now. Okay, but no colour is leaking because of course it is only, oh my god, problem with the key, look at that. I used a yellow felt tip pen. Can you see my grid lines there? Yellow felt tip pen grid lines. I think that's going to need a little bit more work. Oh dear. This was before I knew what to do, you see. So I've got felt tip pen to get out of that. I think we're going to use a little bit more detergent on that. Give me a moment. Okay, so that did not come clean enough to my satisfaction. So we are going in. There goes Snow Wizard into the washing machine. I mean, these are lovely, these are perfect. I'm just going to plop them in. This one here, Fragile, I can still clearly see yellow blobs where the grid lines were. In we go. Towels I found in the girls' bedrooms. And I will see you in an hour. This is where my cats use this as a climbing station to get in and out of the window. Oh dear.
So, my washing machine's filthy. It wasn't until I shut the door and looked down and I went, oh, I've never... It's in like a boot room. It's in my conservatory, but it's like a boot room. We call it a utility room in the UK. It's not a laundry room. It's manky as anything. Honestly. Never really looked at the outside of my washing machine before and thought, maybe I should clean that. Life's too short. Seriously? Life is too short? When I can do 7,000 stitches a week, why would I clean the outside of my washing machine? I did buy some cleaner for the inside of my washing machine today because it's not draining and spinning properly, so I figure the filter's blocked, but there isn't. My last washing machine had a little flip down front with a little that you pull out for a washing machine. We have front loading washing machines in the UK. And it had a little thing that you twist and pull, and then all the hair bobbles and the hair rats. I've got very long hair. All my daughters have long hair, there's hair everywhere, and we get these little hair rats and they clog things up, but we can't find the thing to undo to pull all the hair rats out. So, you know, you get bits of tissues and the occasional mangled sock and things in the filter, so can't find it. So I got some washing machine cleaner, which I hope will flush through a bit. So I'm going to read the instructions on that and give that a go later. Anyway, so the reason they went in the washing machine was because of the key. Not the key, Fragile. Kirsten Mills, the little tiny, my first ever HAED finish, let me find it. Because it had the yellow felt tip pen, because I didn't know what was good and what was not. So this is on 18 count. This is a story keep done on 18 count, so it's actually quite big for a story keep, you know, like what would actually be a bookmark. And the pen came out in the washing machine. The yellow, that's actually cream there. That's actually cream, that's not the yellow pen. What you could see before, I'll see if I can take a still, and I'll put the still here and put that there when it was wet with the yellow pen. Definitely come out. So this is my little story keeper Fragile, which is every shade of pink DMC have ever made, plus 8 or 9 greys and blacks that go there, and 2 white and some white stitches. Other than that, it's all pink. And I think 3770 probably. I'm well acquainted with 3770 now. I think just put thousands of stitches into the Snow Wizard to finish it. Anyway, there's my Fragile. And I have a good spattering here that proves you can put a finished HAED stitched in DMC. I don't know about CXC. I don't know how colour fast that is, but in DMC, branded, bought properly from DMC, from a reputable place, is colour fast. And when you've finished your piece and it's covered in coffee and goo and crap, and I left it in the car and it got wet and I dropped it on the floor outside, oops, it comes out. Look, this looks almost professional. This does not look like my piece of work. I also washed Mini Dragon Guardian, which is on the 22 count hard hanger. Now there is still a mark on this here. I don't know what that is, but it's not come out. But the coffee stains and all of that have gone. It's gorgeous, and I'd frame it right up to the, you know, if I'm going to put a mount on it, it'll go right up to the stitching. I've no interest in seeing white Ada on a piece. It will be framed right up touching. If I put a mount, if I can find a frame it fits in perfectly, I'll fit it in perfectly. If I need to put like an edging on it, it'll go right up against. So, Mini Dragon Guardian, that has some Petite Treasure braid sparkling above the top of his back there. You can just about see the sparkle in it. And that's washed beautifully as well. And this is 1 strand on 22 count. So that's washed and pressed, and look, this has been in the washing machine. And yes, I lost a little bit to the Raggledy. The Ada, this is cheapy Hobbycraft Ada, didn't fray at all in the washing machine. That's been through a full cycle. I did put it on delicate, just because but then I did spin it at 1400 revs, so it's had a really good spin. Now, the one I got from Etsy that was on, where is it? This is quite unusual. On a piece of 16 count easy grid. When this has been washed, can you see it's really see-through? And this is 16 count, is what I got, easy grid Ada. And it reminds me of muslins, you know, when you have a baby and you have muslins everywhere. When it came out of the washing machine, it looked like something I recognised. It took me ages to work out, because I am well past the having muslins in every conceivable place to mop up vomit and everything, basically. I'm over that stage. Thank goodness. So that's what that reminded me of, but it needed a really good press. But this is on 16 count. This is 2 strands on 16 count. Again, went a little bit scraggly in the washing machine, but hey, I'm going to get a hoop for this. This is going to be hoop finished. I'm going to paint the hoop, and there it is. I got this on Etsy and finished it a while ago. It's I tried to pull this completely round when I was stretching it to dry. It's not quite dried round. I can either wet this back down and stretch it, or I'm just going to stick it in a hoop and pull it until it's round. But that's going in a hoop, which I'm going to get very shortly. I just need to take this with me to Hobbycraft to get the right size hoop for it. Ta-da! And that washed really beautifully, and that's 2 strands on 16 count through the washing machine. Do you see how I'm delaying showing you the Snow Wizard? Okay, I also found on my wall Noel, and I'm going to show a picture here of how grubby it was. It was really wanky. This didn't go through the washing machine because I forgot about it until I'd already put the machine on. So I just hand washed this, and it now looks like this. Isn't this nice? Isn't this nice? I can still see, looking at it now, I can still see a slight coffee mark down here. I might have another go at this. I might get some vanish spray and have a go at this. I might hoy it in the washing machine. This is all DMC. It's a piece of white 28, 32 maybe count. So I got even weave Lugana. And that's my Noel. It has been washed, and I can still just about see the shadow of the coffee. I'm not 100% sure if that's going to annoy me in any way, shape or form. I'm guessing it probably won't. But obviously this has white that I can't hide, so that will have to be framed with the white showing. I mean, obviously, yes, I can definitely see the coffee marks. I mean, it's very much better than it was. And then I spot cleaned the very badly coffee stained one here on the 16 count, 18 count, I think it might be 16 count DMC Ada. So it has the red grid lines. It doesn't have so many grid lines anymore. It has hardly any. It's got a lot. It's still quite rigid. It had quite a lot of shampoo put on it. But my 8, 10, this blue, the one that had the coffee down it, that was a total accident and put me off stitching on it actually. And yes, I washed it with a needle hanging from it, because that's just me. I mean, that's how much care I take. It's still got a needle hanging from it, which I just pulled through. It was tucked in, so I just pulled it through so it wouldn't get lost. So I've lost a lot of the grid lines, but they obviously do wash out really well. This obviously just got scrubbed, rinsed, and then put on the radiator. Rinsing it took a lot of the lines out of it. It will need a really good go through the machine. You can see how they've run. The reds run quite a lot, but I know it'll come out when it's finished. I was trying not to lose too many of the grid lines. I have lost almost all of them on the piece, however. But now I can get on with this again, now that I've fixed my mistake. And today, this morning, I have also tried to fix the scrumpled mess that was Castles in the Air. I have ironed it. Ooh, I have sunshine. You know what? This always shows badly. That is the colour this piece is. That's it. That's the colour it is. This is Lagoon. It is Zweigart 40 count Lagoon. And that is Dinky Dye Quicksilver. So I have ironed the scrumple. You can see it's still very scrumpled, but as I work on it now, it should loosen up. It should loosen up the creases in it. I don't know quite how it got that creased, but it should help to loosen up if I work on it. I'm going to grid this with my Gutermann filament. Just because I'm incompetent and can't count properly in 40 count. Kinky, tinky, stinky, squinky little stitches. But I'm good. This is moved right up. This is moved right up. This is stepping in very shortly. Might not even make it to the end of January before I pick up on this. And you'll see when I start gridding it, I'm not going to grid the whole piece. I'm just going to put them where I need them. And that'll be that. I'm not going to spend a great deal of time because I'd rather be stitching. But this I need help with, and it's too lovely to jack it in. It's just too lovely to jack it in. So I'm gonna have to show you my Snow Wizard now, I suppose. Right, I'm unbelievably happy with how this turned out. So there's some finishes. sorted. 2 problems fixed. I feel really positive, like I'm actually getting on with stuff. Right, here is my 14 count washed, dried, pressed Snow Wizard. So I'm going to try and put across my face here a section of this before it was washed, so you can see how the gaps in the stitching have closed as it's shrunk a little bit, fluffed a little bit, and I love it. This is 14 count with 2 strands. So people who are panicking that they're 25 count, 1 over 2 over 1 full cross have got gaps, fret not. Please, please, fret not. Do it your own way. If you want to use 1 strand, use 1 strand. If you want to use 14 count, 16 count, 18 count Ada, do it. The only thing is the size. You'll see from my key, the size is huge. Now this is a little bit smaller than it was. We have come down a little bit. If I can find a ruler, I will count and we'll see what count we've come out at. And if I can put it here, I'll put it here, and I'll be surprised if it's still. I've got a ruler right there. Hang fire. I mean, it's sort of a ruler. Obviously, yeah, lost half of it, but it has an inch on it. I don't think it's too dirty. Let's have a count. Right. So there is my inch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It's still exactly 14 count. That must just be it looks smaller. It looks physically smaller to me. I think it's because the stitching has fluffed. It's still exactly 14 count. I mean, it should be. It shouldn't shrink. You see now my 20 count Ada that I washed because I'd drawn it with marker pens and I was scared. The better to see you with. That was easy count, 20 count. That went to 22 count when I boil washed it, which is probably the difference. So I assumed this had shrunk too, but I don't think it hasn't. It's still exactly 14 count. So it's a trick of the eye because the gaps have closed. But look, here he is, and here's the bottom where I finished. Trying to get him so the light's better. My little draglins. There's the wizard, and it's complete. And I'm thrilled, and it's big, and it survived the washing machine, and that's unfinished. Yeah, I never did stitch it, I never overlocked it. It has been on the roly Q-snap thing I made for it the whole time, but the coffee marks, remember the coffee marks at the bottom? Completely gone. Completely gone. That was a scoop of normal biological washing powder. Nothing fancy, nothing special. It just got hoid in. I did put it on delicate, but then I spun the fury out of it. I didn't tumble dry it. I didn't. I put it on the radiator. I nearly tumble dried them, but I put them on the radiator. So it is done. I have margins for me. Look at my margins. So my next job is to get a piece of the foam core, and I'm going to pin it onto the foam core, and then I'm going to decide whether I've got the guts to make it a frame or whether I'm going to take it into the framers in the village. We'll see. We'll see. Snow Wizard. Done. Proper HAED finish this year. First 2 weeks of this year I got proper HAED finished. Okay, it was sitting at, what were we at the beginning of the year? Look at me with information. This is novel. If you've not met me before, this is really novel that I actually have information. Snow Wizard was at 88% at the beginning of the year. Yeah, 88. And I finished it. So, on finishing that, I immediately picked up the key. Now, the key, I'll put a picture up here, is beautiful. and it was sitting at 40%, and it turns out I've done all the fun stuff. So the bit I've been working on is a stone. I have been stitching on a stone, which is why I've got so many stitches into it, because it's a stone. It's lots of colours, but it's one of these pieces where there's lots of stitches of each colour within your stone. So I'm just going to put my needle to the back so that it's not dangling in the way. And I'm doing what I do. I do the park. I park if I get to the end of my Q-snap. So I put my stone, I put my brick, the bottom left-hand corner. Here's what it looked like when I picked it up. That's part of a huge piece, and it is huge because it is 14 count. It's a standard size, 375,000 stitch HAED on 14 count. Will make it this kind of size. It will be finished fabric based wall hanging type thing. So I colour completed the black I think 2 years ago, just while I saw Kim Hollenbach do it on one of hers on House of Magic, Randall Spangler, and just thought, yeah, I'm going to do that. So I colour completed the black. I have, I think, 3 more moths to find. There is a moth there. I think I have 3 more moths to find, and that is the sum total of the excitement, because all of this is just bricks. They're just bricks. You can see the outlines of the bricks. There's the bottom, there's a brick there. Basically finished all of the key, most of the key. There are some leaves at the top. Yes, I've got some ivy leaves to do. There's a finished ivy leaf there. And there's the other corner that I tried to finish some of that before. So it was sitting at 40%. Here is the brick, and here it is now. So quite a lot of stitches have gone into this brick. Got a few part threads. This is all done. That's just a pale spot on the stone. First gap is here, and then there's 2 stitches here, and then this is to there. So I'm getting on. I'm filling in. So I'm doing exactly what I do on my treasure hunt bookshelf. I'll find this colour. I'll do that stitch, and then anywhere else that I can reach. You can see I've gone up. I've gone to the side. Anywhere I can reach within my Q-snap, I will put that colour in. And then if there's, looks like, see, look here, the 550, I came along up here. There is some purple in it and some blue. I came along here with my 550, came up here, did these stitches, couldn't quite reach because that's on the frame. So I've parked him there. And then when I move the Q-snap up to do the next brick, I'll just finish that thread off. Probably first jobbers, I'll just work in my threads and then carry on as I do. Oh, there's a needle there as well. There's needles all over this piece. Scratch my throat with that. So there we go. I've stitched on a stone. It's not exciting, but it's got to be done because I want this finished. I have stitched most of the fun bit. My dragon's nearly done. He's got a couple of gaps in him. There's a couple of browns I didn't have, but I've probably got now because I didn't touch this. I don't think I touched this at all last year. But I have already touched it this year, and I put in nearly 2% on a stone. It's not exciting, but I'm stitching, and anything you're stitching on is good. So to break up the greys, because it is mostly greys, I can't believe the sun's out and it's all shining on me. It's been like gloomy, gloomy, gloom for days. I've been working on my treasure hunt bookshelf because I need to, and possibly a picture here of where it was. I have a picture of where it was at the beginning of the year. I might even have a picture of where I picked up. Let me see if I have. It's best to just look before I'm saying, oh, I've got this and I've got this, when I probably haven't. Yes, definitely got a picture of the brick. What's that? That's a mistake, a picture. Yes, I have. I have a picture. I'm actually just going to send that to myself right now. So I've got it on. I've got to send it from my to there. Right, that's me just Bluetoothing the picture, so I can put the picture up here in editing, and you'll just go, oh yeah, I see what she's talking about now, because otherwise I'll forget and it won't be there. now that I found it. So I can show you what it was looking like when I picked it up, and now it's looking like this. So I've put in a lot of the colours here. That might be a picture of what it looked like at the beginning of the year. So anyway, it looks like this now. I'm not trying to make out I've done more than I have. I've done 0.4% so far this month. So this book here is coming along really well. That was actually, I think, 3 colours. So that went really well. Oh, now the sun's there. And there's a candle, I think, here. This is going to be my next bit of job here. And then to boost my stitches, there's 939 going on this way. There's a lot of 939, which is like the below the shelf. This is going to be the shelf. And then there's like dark behind the books. So this is the dark behind the books, which is mostly 939. So I will probably pick it up and bang in a pile of stitches. But I've got three gaps there. I must fill them in. And then I've got some gaps here. That's just a bad stitch. And then I've got some gaps here. So again, I've been finding the colours, threading them, doing the stitches, doing any other stitches that I can reach easily. Backs of my work are awful. I couldn't care less. I will carry 3 inches. Any more than about 3. Oh my god. Oh yeah, there's one there, that length. But no, look, he's just stuck because I've done all of that. That was just one of the random ninja stitches. Oh, I can't see it anymore. It's gone. It's gone. I don't care. I just want to stitch. I just want to get stitching. So I'm putting in 3864, 3862. It's a lovely, lovely brown colour. I'm putting in some stitches here with this. And I'm trying to do, I got a little bit of catch up, so I'm trying to do between 300 and 500 a night. I actually did a little test last night. I timed myself. I watched 2 episodes of The Casual Criminalist, who talks about murders and reads a script and reacts to it. He's quite funny. He's a guy called Simon Whistler. He's got like 10 YouTube channels, but I like the tone of his voice. And when you're stitching, you just want somebody to narrate. It's like audiobook without being audiobook. He does a lot of podcasts. So I listened to 2, both pretty gruesome, and timed myself on the key, and I did 400 stitches. Well, 398, and then I did 2 more. So I'm counting 400 stitches in the hour in about 6 different greys. And then I timed myself an hour on here, and I only did about 3 different colours. And I got 330 stitches. Did I do all the stitches? I think I did about 330 stitches in the hour here. So it's not so different, because these are 20 count, that's 14 count, these are 20 count. Difference in the stitch size is dramatic. 2 strands, coverage, not bad. Once it's washed, it'll be perfect. This coverage, already perfect. This is 1 strand, 120 count, but you can still see a little bit of sunshine behind these. Again, in 8 years, when this is finished, I will put it in the washing machine. All of it. This is going to be quite a long Flosstube for me, isn't it? I'm doing the shorter ones. And then I started, my last thing for today, my penultimate thing for today, is I started my kit for my mum for Christmas. So I have the cover sheet here, the Boffy Threads, 12 Days of Christmas. This is number 1, my partridge and my pear tree. So I started this on the kit aider, 2 strands on the kit aider, and I did this much. This is 14 count, 2 strands, but it's not going to be washed because there's metallics and there's some beads and there's a couple of sequins. So I hummed and I hard and I hard and I hummed, and I thought, I'm not quite happy with that, and I fussed and I fussed, and I thought about it a bit more, and I had a ratch about. I found a lovely piece of 32 count Nagana and thought, might stitch on that, which would have made it 16 count, so a little bit smaller than this. And I was just about to do it, got the piece of fabric out, and it's a whole piece. It's like a quarter. It's like an eighth. It's an eighth. It's not a quarter. It's an eighth. And I thought, oh, I can either dye this, or I might dye it and put something else on it. So I didn't do that. I found a piece of 18 count DMC. It's antique cream, perhaps. It's not white. Definitely not white. And I restarted, and I'm using a wooden hoop, which I found on my bed, because I don't know where all my Q-snaps have gone. I've got 5 of them. My 11x11s, I've got 5. I can only find 2. I don't know where they've gone. I will find them. They won't be far. So it was this size, and now it's that size. You can see I've done a little bit more, but I've almost exactly done what I'd already done. So it's quite a bit smaller. The beads will be fine, and there's literally 8 sequins. So I thought if it was beads and sequins like a Mill Hill kit, I was thinking more like Mill Hill, and I thought, crikey, I'll need to use the right count. Yeah, there's hardly any. My little packet that's got the sequins in. Have you seen the hank of shiny stuff? This is how many beads and sequins there are, and there'll be extras. They're little stars. They're little beads. They're just pearl white. So if I need smaller, I'll have smaller. I'll have more petite ones than those. But oh, that's better. That's all. I can work that. I'm going to use it, but I think it's going to be hard. And then there's the like cotton pearl. Very fine, sort of sulky. I think it's kind of 12 weight. I think it's like 12 weight sulky, but it's cotton pearl. And that's for all the back stitch, which is nice, and will be fine. It will be fine. It's not going to be chunky or heavy or anything. So this is more of an issue because it's horrible. But I will deal with that when I deal with it. So I'm doing all the blue of this. You can see this is just I need to fill that in, fill that in, fill that in, and sort this bit. Anyway, so I decided against the 14 count, and I've gone for 18 count. And I like it a lot more. It's slightly more petite, slightly better coverage, and I think that size is going to be really nice. And that size was just a little bit chunky. A little bit chunky. I think if it was going on the wall, if it was going to be done as a single piece, and I was going to put it up on the wall, you probably wouldn't have noticed that there were gaps, because I don't know if you notice on this one that there are gaps. Shipping trees. You used to be able to get it on mybobbin.com. I don't think you can anymore. It's wonderful. Fully finished object. Who knew? I'm so good. It needs a piece of brown paper on the back, doesn't it? Anyway, that's how I roll. That is 25 count over 2. It should have been a quarter of this size. That's 12.5 count, guys. 2 strands, 12.5 count. Yeah, I love it. It's covered in dust. Anyway, but if I was, trying to illustrate, if it was going on the wall or leaning against, because I never quite put a hanger up, then it's really dusty. Oh, there's a picture of one of Austin's dinosaur things. It's knocking around here somewhere. It's one of those ones you squeeze and things pop out its back. And a rubber crocodile. And a Bakugan fighting machine that breaks into like 12 different things. That's all very interesting. Not at all. Anyway, carry on. It would have been perfect on the 14 count. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the kit. There's nothing wrong with it being 14 count. But if it was going on the wall, you wouldn't have seen the gaps. It would have just been a beautiful piece. But because I'm going to finish these as a set of smalls, as little flat back cards in a box, so that my mum can put them out as the 12 days of Christmas elapse, then it's different. It's just slightly different. So a little bit nicer, little bit tighter stitching, a little bit smaller, just right. Very happy. I will harvest the thread. I will frog that at my leisure and reuse the thread, because that's how I roll. So that's that done. That's everything I've shown you. So I've had a really good stitchy week, and I'm getting on, and I'm kind of liking writing my stitching down. If I don't, you see, I lose track, and I don't always write in the book every night, and some nights I'm not really home at the right time. So what I'm doing is I'm just screenshotting when I'm finished stitching for the night. If I'm on Pattern Keeper and I'm on the treasure hunt bookshelf, I'm screenshotting it so that I can write it in later, because that records where you've got to. So that's good. I'm trying to keep track. I'm going to see if I can keep track, if I can find out how many stitches I stitch in a year. I'm kind of interested to know. I watch other people's floss whip parades. Kim's was really good, and she's like, I did 131,000 stitches this year, and that's only like 6,000 stitches less than last year, and I work full time now. I'm like, wow. I'm thinking, well, how many do I do? So I'm going to see if I can keep track. I mean, obviously I'm going to do 12 sevens. I'm going to do at least 50,000 stitches into my treasure hunt bookshelf alone. So, let alone everything else. So we'll see. Anyway, guys, if you've made it this far, well done. This is a long one. I'm on 32 minutes now, and I've already stopped it and put in other videos as well. So I think it's going to be nearly an hour. I have got one of Lizzie's, my middle daughter Lizzie. She is she's 16 and a half now. She found my stuff. And after a small amount of coaxing, she has made copious quantities of scissor fobs. So I've got a little giveaway. Long and the short of it, I've got a little giveaway. And all the others, some of them, they range from quite simple right up to, some of them have got beaded animals on them. You'll see if you want to. They're going in my Etsy shop. I photographed them. I just need to edit the photos and put them in. But this one here has got a little resin gummy bear, some sequins, some beads, a little jingly bell. So if you want to oh my god, you guys, I was literally just processing this to leave to go and get my kids from school, and it's got jammed like it has done before. So all I was saying is, if you want to go into a little lucky dip to win a prize, to win that little scissor fob, just drop me a comment. I'm finally going to get this video processed while I'm out getting my kids from school, and thank you ever so much for watching. I think I was right at the end of my video, and I'm just standing there with it like that, stuck. So that's no good. Anyway, I will see you really soon with some more stitching content, and yeah, thanks for watching, and sorry about the end of this because it's gone a bit wrong. See you later, guys. Bye.